Today, we'll talk about a trend that can quietly harm older adults: multi-day water-only fasting done at home without medical supervision. Let me be direct. If you are over 50, especially over 60, your biggest longevity asset is not a low number on a scale. It is your muscle, the tissue that supports balance, mobility, glucose control, and recovery after illness. This is why I'm cautious about water-only fasting for 3, 5, or 7 days. Yes, fasting can change metabolism, but in real life, especially with common medications, water-only fasting can also increase dizziness, dehydration, and falls, and it can reduce lean tissue reserves. Now, what does the better evidence say? In February 2024, a Nature Communications paper reported results from clinical trials using a fasting-mimicking diet, often called an FMD. The FMD is not water-only fasting. It is a short, structured, very low-calorie, low-protein, plant-based program designed to create some fasting-like signals while still providing nutrients. In one trial, participants used the FMD for 5 days per month for 3 cycles. Researchers then measured several metabolic and blood markers. They reported 3 headline findings. First, liver fat decreased in a small MRI subgroup, especially in those who started with fatty liver. Second, several cardiometabolic risk markers improved in higher-risk participants. And third, a biomarker-based estimate of biological age decreased by a median of about 2.5 years after 3 cycles. Important. Here, biological age does not mean you literally turned back time. It means a composite of routine clinical markers, like blood pressure and lab values, shifted in a healthier direction. That is promising, but it is not proof that disease events were prevented. Also important, the paper itself cautions that effects in older adults, especially regarding lean mass and medication interactions, are not conclusively established, so we should not present this as a universal, do-it-yourself prescription for every senior. So, what should be a responsible message? First, if you are older, frail, underweight, or have had recent unintentional weight loss, do not fast for multiple days. If you take diabetes medications, blood pressure pills, water pills, or you have kidney disease or a history of fainting, do not start any fasting-like plan without clinician guidance. If you feel dizzy, weak, confused, have chest pain, fainting, severe shortness of breath, or persistent vomiting, stop immediately and seek urgent medical evaluation. Now, if your clinician says you are a reasonable candidate and only then, what does an evidence-aligned FMD-style cycle generally look like? The FMD was a boxed diet in trials with defined calories and nutrients. Day 1 provided about 4,600 kilojoules, and days 2 through 5 about 3,000 kilojoules per day, with low protein and a plant-based pattern. At home, instead of copying macros perfectly, the safer goal is very low protein for a short window, plant-forward foods, controlled calories, and careful monitoring while prioritizing safety and hydration.
Practical low-risk structure. Choose 5 quiet days with low travel and no heavy physical tasks. Keep meals simple and predictable. Avoid alcohol. Monitor how you feel when standing up. If you have a home blood pressure device, check for unusually low readings, especially if you feel lightheaded. Pause. A simple plant-forward meal pattern many clinicians use as a starting point includes vegetable soups and cooked vegetables for volume, olive oil or other unsaturated fats for satiety, nuts in small portions if tolerated and safe for you, plenty of water. Pause. But again, if dizziness appears, do not push through. Dizziness in older adults is not a badge of honor. It is a fall risk. Pause. What about electrolytes and salt?
Some people on fasting-like regimens feel headaches, fatigue, or lightheadedness. One contributor can be increased salt and water loss. But seniors are often on medications where adding salt is not automatically safe. So the responsible message is, if symptoms appear, pause the plan and consult your clinician, especially if you have hypertension, heart failure, kidney disease, or you take diuretics. Pause. Now let's address the biggest longevity mistake I see. People restrict aggressively for 5 days, and then they return to the same pattern that caused the problem for the other 25 days. If you want function and longevity, the foundation is still boring but powerful. Adequate protein most days, strength training adapted to your ability, enough sleep, and management of blood pressure, glucose, and lipids with your clinician. Short cycles, if appropriate, can be an adjunct. They are not a replacement for muscle protection. Pause. Finally, refeeding. After any restriction, return to normal eating gradually. Start with gentle, familiar meals. Avoid turning day 6 into a binge, not because of magic stem cells, but because your gut and appetite signals may be more sensitive, and large swings can be uncomfortable and destabilizing. Pause. Here is the bottom line. Water-only fasting is not a safe default for seniors. If someone wants a fasting-like intervention, the evidence base is stronger for structured, nutrient-containing approaches studied in trials. But older adults still need extra caution, medication review, and clear stop rules. Pause. If you want, I can rewrite your on-screen checklist into a one-page senior safety screen for fasting-like diets. Who should not do it, what to monitor, and what symptoms mean stop. Pause. Thank you for watching.